In 1986, a young man in a leather jacket and aviator sunglasses climbed into an F-14 Tomcat and became the face of American cinema. In 2022, that same man, now 60 years old, did something no one thought possible. He made a sequel that outgrossed the original by nearly $1 billion, saved the theatrical exhibition industry from COVID-era collapse, and proved that practical filmmaking in an age of digital shortcuts was not just viable, but essential. And now in 2026, Paramount Pictures has confirmed what the industry has been whispering for 2 years. Top Gun 3 is cleared for takeoff. But the runway is littered with ghosts. The announcement came at CinemaCon in Las Vegas on April 16, 2026, with Paramount co-head Josh Greenstein delivering the news with the kind of corporate confidence that only comes from a $1.5 billion precedent. Top Gun 3 officially in development with a script well underway, reuniting Tom Cruise and Jerry Bruckheimer. The room erupted, but Tom Cruise was not on stage. He was present without being present, a video filmed on Paramount's iconic Melrose Avenue water tower, directed by John M. Chu, with Cruise sitting atop the structure like a king surveying his kingdom, saying simply, "The future looks pretty great from here." It was a statement about the studio. It was also a statement about himself. And it was designed to be read as both. But beneath the spectacle, the psychological terrain is treacherous. Because Top Gun Maverick was not just a sequel. It was a miracle. Released in May 2022, when theaters were still operating under COVID restrictions and the streaming revolution had declared cinema dead, Maverick earned $1.5 billion worldwide on a $170 million budget. It was Tom Cruise's first billion-dollar film. It was the film that Steven Spielberg personally thanked Cruise for at the 2023 Oscars nominees luncheon, saying he had saved Hollywood's ass. And it was the film that made Paramount's entire theatrical strategy viable again. The pressure on Top Gun 3 is not commercial, it is existential. Because if Maverick was the miracle, then Top Gun 3 must be the proof that miracles can repeat. Aaron Kruger, who co-wrote Maverick alongside Eric Warren Singer and Christopher McQuarrie, is writing the script. His previous solo credits include the Transformers sequels, a pedigree that would normally inspire dread, but Maverick proved he could construct large-scale action narratives that retained emotional coherence. The script is well underway, which in studio speak means the story exists at a meaningful level of development. This is not an announcement of intention. This is an announcement of a film actively being made. But a script is not a film, and a film is not a legacy. The cast is the first question mark. Tom Cruise is confirmed. He is the sun around which this solar system orbits. Miles Teller, who played Rooster, Goose's son and Maverick's emotional anchor, is expected to return but not officially confirmed. His performance in Maverick was the film's beating heart, the generational bridge that made the sequel matter beyond nostalgia. Without Rooster, Top Gun 3 is just another Cruise vehicle. With him, it is a saga. Glenn Powell, who played Hangman and has since become one of Hollywood's most commercially significant leading men, has been cryptic. In July 2024, he told the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, I have a date, when asked about filming. But in September 2025, he admitted to People that the Top Gun group chat was alive with congratulations about other projects, but contained no new intel about the sequel. I wish I had something. I literally have nothing. There's been no new dialogue on that text chain. The man who knows the date doesn't know the script. The man who has the script doesn't have the date. This is Top Gun 3 in a nutshell. Everyone wants to be there. No one knows if they are. Jennifer Connelly, who played Penny Benjamin, told Entertainment Tonight in April 2024, "I'll be there. I'm ready." John Hamm as Cyclone, Monica Barbaro as Phoenix, Danny Ramirez as Fanboy, Jay Ellis as Payback, Louis Pullman as Bob, Greg Tarzan Davis as Coyote, and Manny Jacinto as Fritz, all remain unconfirmed. The ensemble that made Maverick feel like a genuine team rather than a star vehicle is currently a collection of question marks. And then there is the director. Joseph Kosinski, who brought visual precision to Maverick's aerial sequences that redefined what IMAX cameras could capture, has not been officially announced to return. His IMAX dogfight footage remains some of the most technically ambitious material shot for a major studio production in years. A Kosinski return signals continuity and commitment to the visual language that made Maverick extraordinary. A different director signals evolution or departure. The decision will tell the industry everything about what kind of film Top Gun 3 intends to be. But the most devastating absence is not a question mark. It is a period. Val Kilmer, who played Tom Iceman Kosinski in the 1986 original and returned for Maverick in what became his final film role, died in 2025. His scene with Cruise, a quiet exchange between two old rivals who had become reluctant friends, filmed with enormous care given Kilmer's health, was one of the most emotionally resonant moments in the entire franchise. It was a goodbye the audience did not know it was watching in real time. And now Top Gun 3 inherits that weight. Iceman's arc in Maverick closed with completion. That closing is now also a funeral that the sequel must acknowledge without exploiting. How the film handles Kilmer's absence will be one of its first and most significant creative decisions. Because Iceman was not just a character, he was the mirror in which Maverick saw himself, and without that mirror, the reflection changes. The plot is a black box. Christopher McQuarrie, who co-wrote and produced Maverick, said on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast in May 2025 that the plot was already in the bag, but in the bag is not on the page. And Kosinski told British GQ in June 2025 that there was still more story to tell for Maverick, one last ride, with Aaron Kruger writing, and the team working to ensure they only proceeded with a strong enough story. The gold standard, as Jay Ellis put it in May 2026, is how do we push this film past what the last film was? That is the question that has kept Cruise awake for 4 years. Because Maverick was not just a sequel, it was a statement about what cinema could be when you refuse to compromise. Practical effects, real G-forces actors in actual F-18 cockpits, IMAX cameras mounted on planes flying at max speeds. The kind of filmmaking that cannot be replicated in a living room, that demands a dark theater and a massive screen and an audience holding its collective breath. Top Gun 3 must do all of that again, but differently, better, or it risks being the film that proves Maverick was the exception, not the rule. And then there is Cruise himself. At 64 years old in 2026, he has just concluded the Mission Impossible franchise with the final reckoning. He has Digger, the Alejandro G. Iñárritu film, arriving before Top Gun 3. He holds the Guinness World Record for the most consecutive $100 million grossing films, 11 releases between 2012 and 2025. And he has spent his entire career refusing to migrate to streaming, betting on theatrical releases when every trend pointed the other way. And Tom Cruise, the last genuine movie star of his generation, becomes a man who flew too close to the sun one last time. But if it succeeds, if Kruger's script delivers, if Kosinski returns and pushes the IMAX technology further, if Rooster and Hangman and the new generation of pilots can carry the emotional weight while Maverick carries the physical, then Top Gun 3 is not just a film. It is a coronation. The confirmation that practical cinema, theatrical cinema, star-driven cinema can still dominate a landscape of algorithms and content farms. Paramount knows this. Cruise knows this. And the audience, who bought tickets a year in advance for Maverick and made it the event of the decade, knows this too. The release date is unannounced. The cast is half confirmed. The director is a rumor. The script is well underway. And yet the anticipation is already building like a sonic boom before the plane breaks the sound barrier. Because Top Gun is not just a franchise. It is a promise. A promise that cinema can still make you feel something. That practical effects can still take your breath away. That a man in a flight suit pushing the limits of his body and his machine can still be the most thrilling thing on earth. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to understand that Top Gun 3 is not asking whether you remember the danger zone. It is asking whether you believe the danger zone still exists.